I'm Elisa Parker. This is the Wild and Scenic Film Festival. It has been an incredible weekend. 22 years of this festival. It's one of the largest of its kind here in the United States, and I love just connecting with the storytellers, and even more so some of the people who are featured in this film and the incredible work that they're doing. And we get to hear it firsthand right here. I'm thrilled to introduce our next guest, Danielle Frank, and she is part of the film Paddle Tribal Waters. Is that right, Danielle?
Yes.
Okay. And first of all, it's an award winner too, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So give us a synopsis of the film. It takes place up at the Klamath River.
Yeah, so our film takes place, on the Klamath and Trinity Rivers, up Northern California, Hoopa, Yurok, Kaduk territory, where a big program that we're really working on is the Paddle Tribal Waters program. So essentially trying to get more youth from the Klamath River Basin trained up to be part of this first descent of our once again undammed Klamath River. For those who are unfamiliar, we're currently conducting the largest river restoration dam removal project in history in our territory right now.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so after these dams are removed, our river will be free flowing for the first time in over 100 years. And so our kids are going to be doing us, and me and our team.
Yeah, you're in it.
We'll be doing a source to sea descent of the Klamath River post dam removal.
Well, so for folks who aren't familiar, when you say first descent, you're kayaking down.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
Tell us about that. So first of all, it's the first descent. Does that mean these are the first people who are going to be going down in 100 years since it's been dammed?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we come from canoe people, so essentially I would say it's not the first descent of the full river. I've heard stories of, people coming from way up Klamath Modoc territory to us to trade in canoes. But our river's been dammed for 100 years and water transit hasn't been possible. So it's like this once again first descent after all this trauma our river has faced, our people have faced, our kids are facing. It's this first descent in 100 years, the first descent of this newly healed river.
Have you river kayaked before?
Yeah.
Doing this you had?
Yeah.
How about some of the other participants? Because I'm watching this, I'm like, wow, kayaking on a river, it's a whole thing in itself. I mean, there's a lot of training involved. There's knowing how to do rolls and what exits. I don't know what class river that is.
Yeah.
What is the class?
We were probably getting up to class 3 by the end of our 17
Danielle,
days.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I actually, before Rios, the film that we have, before that program, I had never been in a kayak.
Okay.
I had been raft guiding before, so I was familiar with the water. I grew up in the rivers. My nickname back home is Ducky because I can't leave them. But I never had been in a kayak until the first day with Rios to Rivers. And pretty much the same thing for 98% of our kids. Kayaking's expensive, and we don't come from communities with a lot of dollar bills. So we can't afford to buy $1,000 boat and $1,000 gear and find gas money to get us where we need to go. Rios Rivers did that for us, and they got us gear. We had so many amazing supporters getting us and what we needed to start the training. So yeah, it was like an opportunity I never would have got.
Can you talk and describe the experience of going down the river, and what was that like for you, and just with the rest of the participants as well?
Yeah, so most of the youth in our program are from the Klamath River Basin. I grew up on my res, so I've watched these kids, who are just a few years younger than me, grow up their whole lives. And that first day on the water changed my life. That first day on the Klamath River with all those kids, I just knew that this was going to be something that we did for a long time. And so, yeah, it's like a feeling of the water is not a stranger to me, the water is my best friend. But being able to have this newly found relationship where I can just get a boat and my basic necessities and one of my cousins or friends or nephews and have a whole day just surrounded by this thing that I love. It just felt like a new door was opening for sure.
So speaking of changing and transforming your life, you mentioned this experience of participating in this has drastically changed your life. It's led you on a new course now, even career-wise. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's growing up on our reservation, activism is just kind of something that you inherit. like it's recognized that like our rivers and our places are what make us who we are. You know, we're one of the really lucky tribes who our reservations are on our ancestral territories. Our juntas, our Indian houses, are right where they've been for thousands and thousands of years. Our ceremony places are 5 minutes from our high school, and we have access to them. You know, it's not the same story for a lot of people, even in so-called California for different tribes. So one, just like growing up in that place and knowing that our people have fought since the day, you know, contact first happened for us to stay there and to have access to our rivers and our salmon, our ceremonies. Like, it's like you're born with the responsibility to continue that. You know, our grandparents can't do it for us forever, and so now it's our turn. And so I've been an activist my whole life. You know, I'm basically just native. Like, we just protect the places we come from. That's who we are, what we do. But yeah, coming into Rios to Rivers, like, advocacy wasn't new to me, but like really working with the same group of kids consistently was new to me. It was, you know, being able to build these relationships. Like, I feel like all of them are my nieces and nephews now. Like, I love all of them so much. Like, seeing them get these opportunities just like makes me want to cry when I think about what they're gonna grow into and like how much they're gonna believe in themselves, and like how they're gonna pick up this responsibility we do have of taking care of our places and making sure that, you know, our homes stay, like, get into, like, even get more restored. Like, our river dams are coming down, but there's 50 years of restoration work that has to be picked up, and our grandparents can't do that. Like, it's our turn to step into those roles, and our kids know that, I know that, like, and Rios to Rivers has solidified that for us again and again. Every day that we meet, we talk about that. And also we get to address like some of the historic trauma that our people have faced and how we, you know, move past that.
And you said this is not only are you working on the Klamath, but others.
Yeah.
Right? So what is your position title?
Yeah, so I'm a board member with Rios to Rivers. Started as a student, I'm a board member. And we have, like, just to finish this up, we have kind of a really big project we're doing right now in partnership with Rios to Rivers and World Class Academy. So our students, 13 of the 28 we're working with, are on a semester of high school with our program. So 13 students that we have, they're in Chile right now. They were on the Biobío River, they were in Pucón, and they'll be kind of down there for 6 weeks. They go to school in the morning, they kayak in the afternoons, they hang out with indigenous people from outside of the U.S. On the free time. It's a really special program, and then they'll do spring break, and second quarter will be up in our territories. So Southern Oregon, Northern California, and the curriculum they're learning from was written by our team, so it's all indigenized. And so yeah, that's kind of our big project right now, is this semester where our kids are kayaking every day, they're learning every day, they're building relationships with each other every day, and getting these new experiences of like leaving the reservation and seeing what the rest of the world is like, but
right.
Knowing that they get to come home and they get to tell their families about it and they get to bring everything they learned back home.
It's awesome. Looking at everyone, what would you tell other youth? What is your message to youth right now?
I would say learn. I would say, you know, our world is in a pretty big place of havoc, not just ours, but everybody's. You know, we're living in a time where there's a lot of unnecessary trauma and hurt, and, you know, it doesn't always have to be like that. Like, I think just looking at, like, learning about the history of the places that you're in, recognizing the mistakes that were made, and doing your part to like teach other people that, you know, these are indigenous lands and there's a lot of restoration and reparations to be done, and that we all have our part to play in that. But mostly, you know, the biggest part is like taking responsibility for yourself, for your actions, like being good, being respectful to others, like knowing that, you know, it's all of we're all here now. It's all of our responsibility to take care of this place. And so, like, do your part.
Do your part. Danielle, Frank, you're amazing. And thank you for being here at Wild and Scenic. Congratulations on the award win. And it's such a pleasure to me. And I'm excited to see where this is going to take you. It's already amazing. So
awesome.
Thanks for being here.
And our film is available on our website, Rios to Rivers. It's free. Paddle Tribal Waters. Check us out.
Awesome. I'm Elisa Parker. This is the Wild and Scenic Film Festival. It's the best festival of the kind, and we're thrilled you're part of this. We'll be back in just a bit.